It's the 27th of January, 1945, and skimming through the Italian mountains are two P-47 Thunderbolts. Inside the rear P-47 sits 18-year-old Raymundo da Costa Canario from the 1st Brazilian Fighter Squadron. He keeps up with his leader, Lieutenant Luiz Lopes Dornelles. The men are on a free hunting mission, and as they roar around a cliff they spot a column of German vehicles. Dornelles gets on the radio. "You see that, Canary? It's Tigers." The German column is made up of several vehicles, but Dornelles is right. In the midst of the column is the unmistakable hulking form of two Tiger tanks. "I'm diving in." Canario is the first to pull around his P-47 and then line up the column in his sights. "Canary, watch out for anti-aircraft fire." But the thrill of battle fills the young pilot, and picking up speed he sets his crosshairs on the enemy formation. Alarm! Attack planes! The column rushes for cover as the Germans turn all their defensive firepower towards the Brazilians. The roar of the 18-cylinder P-47 engines fills the air and the Germans lift their machine guns to meet the threat head-on. Bullets fly towards the P-47. The Thunderbolt is hit with German lead and the bullets make a noise like gravel on a windshield. Canario is showing nerve beyond his years and calmly pushes a button on top of the stick, and a barrage of rockets launches off at the armored targets below. Canario then squeezes the trigger. In response, 850 calories ring out. At maximum speed now, he strafes along the entire length of the column. Trucks are hit, bursting into fire. As he starts to level off, he's now low and over the target. He punches the bomb release with his left hand, and two 500-pound bombs release from his wings in quick succession. And they pile into the massive German tanks. Canario is already flying up and away when he sees green streaks passing by his canopy. On the ground, a German 20mm anti-aircraft cannon tries to chase the fast-disappearing P-47. Canario pulls up and veers left, dodging the incoming barrage, and he tries to race for cover behind the cliff. But the deadly rounds are streaking past, each one closer than the last. "I got you, kid." It's Dornelles. Racing in, he has the cannon in his sights while it is pointing at Canario. Dornelles strafes the cannon and the Germans jump for cover. Just as he passes over, he pulls the bomb release. And pulls up from the explosion and inferno. "Thank you, Luiz. I almost lost my feathers." Coming around again over the smoking wrecks of the two Tigers, the men spot something else. Further down the road is the unmistakable form of a third Tiger. "Cover me, I'm on it." "Right behind you." Dornelles takes a low-angle level with the road with rockets at the ready. The Tiger gets closer and he opens fire. Rocket after rocket launch from his wings, streaking towards their target. "Come on. Come on." His heart sinks as he sees several miss. But then the bloom of an explosion as one strikes the enemy on the suspension. The 56-ton machine is not going anywhere. "Canary, he's all yours." Canario dives down to finish the job and fires off his last 4 rockets, reducing another piece of German engineering to rubble. "Haha, 3 Tigers down in one day. We should have called you an eagle." But Dornelles gets on the radio with another target. "Vehicle at 4 o'clock. Leaving quickly." Below him, a half-track with a tarp covering the bed has driven onto the road and is speeding away. Under that tarp could be another anti-air weapon. If the Germans get it running, the fight could turn rapidly against them. "Follow me." Dornelles turns his P-47 into a dive. Canario follows hot on his heels. The 2 Thunderbolts are bearing down upon the speeding half-track. Dornelles opens fire first. The bullets ring out and fly over the top of the half-track, cutting into the trees along the roadside. The German driver weaves and pulls for cover. Dornelles has to pull up to prepare for another pass. Canario, though, has his eyes locked on the enemy. He pulls the trigger. The Thunderbolt shakes beneath him with the firing of the quad machine guns on each wing. The German only sees flickers of flame on the Brazilian aircraft before the string of bullet strikes appears before his eyes, headed right towards him. There's nothing he can do. The bullets tear through the half-track, round after round, punching through the thin steel until one of them finds the ammunition. The half-track explodes in an abrupt and violent ball of black smoke. Canario roars past. He's racing away victorious. But the moment he looks away from the target, he realizes he's made a terrible mistake. A factory with a towering chimney fills his vision. He pulls back on the stick hard. But it's no use. He feels the blood-curdling impact followed by a violent roll to the right. He instinctively shoves the stick to the left and his plane limps away. He'd caught the roll. Better yet, his trusty P-47 is ever so slowly rolling back to level. He holds the stick on full left and tentatively applies the left rudder. The plane responds. He's shocked. How could it still be flying? He looks out the window to see a third of his right wing almost completely sheared off. I regained control. I struck a chimney. Dornelles flies up alongside him, his eyes wide at the sheer scale of the damage. Can you fly it home? Canario examines his instruments. The fuel is not leaking. The engine looks healthy and everything appears to work. I think so. But Dornelles can't hear him. Da Costa, do you copy? Can you fly it home? Something has gone wrong. Canario can hear his leader, but his leader can't hear him back. Can you hear me? Copy that. We're flying through the Adriatic. The planes head home together. All the while Canario is focused on keeping control. Then a transmission comes in. Aircraft up ahead. Damn it. What are we gonna do? It's the last thing they wanted to see. Two unidentified fighters in the distance coming right towards them. Keep your heading. I'll deal with them. Dornelles speeds up, leaving Canario behind, and the two unidentified aircraft turn gracefully and dive towards them. Dornelles pulls up, ready to meet the challenge head-on. But then he realizes, these aren't enemies. These are Spitfires. Dornelles immediately breaks off the attack and shows the side of his aircraft to prove he is a friendly. But it's too late, and the Spitfires' power passed with Canario in their sights. The two Spitfires roar towards Canario, as he tries desperately to maneuver. There's nothing he can do. Tracers pour out of the Spitfire's wings. Canario's tail is torn to shreds and the aircraft starts to roll over. The unknown fighters roar by Canario and he gets to see them up close. They're British? The two Spitfires come around for another attack. No. I'm a friendly. They pull up next to the Thunderbolt. Oh bloody hell, it's a P-47. Sorry, old chap. The Spitfires waggle their wings in apology and turn away. Damn it, those Brits almost sent me to hell. The two pilots fly home and spot their airbase. And Canario goes in for an approach. He drops the landing gear, and with great skill and precise control sideslips the aircraft towards the runway. But then a message comes through. It's the control tower. Abort. Abort. Canario almost instinctively pulls up. Canario was told by the tower that the runway was needed for an emergency landing, and the Thunderbolt had to enter a holding pattern. Damn it. Can't they see I've only got one wing? He's forced into several unstable turns over the base, but it's finally clear to land. He hits the ground hard with heavy force, but the landing gear holds strong. Slamming on the brakes, his plane rolls and shakes down the runway. Finally, in a cloud of dust, the P-47, or what's left of it, comes to a halt. Raymundo da Costa Canario would survive the war and return home to Brazil. Incredibly, his aircraft was repaired and served for 50 more missions before the end of the war. My plane wasn't the only one to land with heavy damage. Watch this film where a B-17 was rammed by a German pilot and still managed to land at a German airfield. I bet he wasn't forced to go around again.